Divine lotus feet of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, provide shelter for the conditioned souls of this material world. The shelter of his lotus feet is the transcendental cause of the rising of all blissful attitude of pure devotional service. I humbly offer my prostrate obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and surrender my life in his service. Srila Prabhupada's transcendental body is the personified assembly of pure devotees, that is ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Thus, His Divine Grace has manifested a house to provide spiritual shelter for all of the conditioned souls in this material world. Kindly, Srila Prabhupada, take us also with you to serve eternally the golden avatar, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he or his moment is.
His Divine Grace Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is the author of transcendental literatures glorifying the nectarian name, pastimes and teachings of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His Divine Grace is the spiritual master for the whole universe in the science of the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is educating everyone in this transcendental science. My dear brothers, outside of the path of devotional service, enunciated by Srila Prabhupada is the material illusion, Maya, of the present age of Kali. There is not even the slightest hope for deliverance in this age of Kali, outside of the path of Krishna consciousness given by Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada has given the eternal nectar of preaching, the glories of the holy names, etc. of Sri Krishna. He is the transcendental life of Guru and Gauranga. Empowered by their mercy, by performance of the Sankirtan Yajna, he instates all living entities as confidential servitors of Srimati Radharani. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's transcendental vision, that is his plan and program for establishing Lord Chaitanya's transcendental desire in this world, is causing torrents of rain in the form of Lord Chaitanya's mercy of pure love of Krishna to flood the entire material creation. O Eternal Master, let me be ever the surrendered servant to your command.
The Western world is filled with voidist, impersonalist, and person addicted to illicit activities against the Vedic principles of civilized human life. Although it is almost impossible to deliver such fallen souls, simply by your transcendental mercy, even such souls have been delivered from material conditioned life. O Srila Prabhupada, kindly give your mercy to me, this time, in this lifetime. Give me the benediction that I may become a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. By your causeless mercy, even the impossible can become possible. Offered by the insignificant servant of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Pataka Swami.
Today will be the Vyaspuja festival. It was there some time back. Generally, we have it on the same day. It's not as close as possible. So our brahmacharis will be coming in offering their Vyaspuja offerings that they had written to Prabhupada. So it's a very, very crucial understanding of the position of the Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So in all of our lives, in ISKCON, so he has touched our lives in different ways, be it by his books or lectures or conversations or convictions or even scriptural predictions that come. Even Bhagavatam has described that Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulnasha Avira Shumba Yavana Kashadaya Yene Chapape Advashaya Shaya Shuttyanti Tasmai Praveshnave Namah. So all these people, Kirata Hunandra, Andhra is this only, this Andhra. Pulinda Pulkasha, Avira Shumba, Greeks, the Turks, practically Russians, British, all these races are basically indicated. This verse comes in the Bhagavatam. So it is said that if all these people also take shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord, even they will get delivered. And if you look at whole of the Vedic scriptures, whole of the history of Vedic scriptures, you will find maybe one case of one Valmiki, one case of one Mrigari getting delivered. So these are like these kind of people. Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Avira, Shumbaya, Kashadaya. But when Prabhupada came, practically, as of now, the whole world is getting delivered. So, if you look at the whole Vedic paradigm, it is almost impossible to bring a person who has taken cow flesh and all, to even understand Vedic culture. So, people feel shocked like anything when they see Westerners, Africans, Chinese people. Indians feel shameful to wear dhoti kurta, sari and things like that. But by Prabhupada's mercy is such that even such people not only take to Vedic culture, but they reach to the highest rungs of pure devotional service. So this is the position of His Divine Grace, which is very, very special, very, very special. So I'll just read my offering, which I had written and given in the book as well.
Carrying emotion.
You want to see it? No. I reflected on this previous year as well. One conversation of Prabhupada that brings about many lessons. Then, with every passing year and every passing days and weeks and months, so as you practice devotional service, you will understand what is the position of Prabhupada, how special is he, and how divine are his books, how divine are his revelations that he is actually giving to Kali Yuga people. So, never in the past has it happened, never in the future it will happen. Now is the time. Now is the time to actually gather all the mercy and end our whole material existence. Dear Srila Prabhupada, this 1 year has passed and one more year is trying to serve you and your representatives with purer consciousness begins. As I reflect on this conversation of yours, Indian lady. Can read fully? Can read fully? How does one contact the spiritual master? Through a book, can you contact the spiritual master? No, you have to associate. Ram Sundar. Can you associate through a book? She asked. Prabhupada. Yes, through books and also personal. Because when you make a spiritual master, you have got a personal touch. Not that in the air you make a spiritual master. You make a spiritual master concrete. So as soon as you make a spiritual master, you should be inquisitive. If you simply try to understand what is God by reading scriptures, you cannot achieve. You must approach a guru. Just like a medical book, it can be available in the market. You purchase one medical book and study and you become a doctor, that is not possible. You must hear the medical book from a medical man in the college, medical college. Then you will be qualified. And if you say, sir, I have read all the medical books, recognize me as a medical practitioner, no, that will not be. Engineers can do that. Now doctors can't do it. Like, how many of you are into IT? Many, So there, let's say you are not able to figure out some code and all, you can just Google that. Doctors can't do it. That's why Prabhupada is giving doctor example here. Madhud Disha. One cannot become a medical practitioner by simply reading the books. He must study under a medical practitioner. So in the case of your books, is it possible to become a devotee without actually having personal association with you just by reading your books? Prabhupada. No. It is not that you have to associate with the author, but one who knows if you cannot understand, you have to take lesson from him. Not necessarily they have to contact with the author always. Just like the textbooks are written by the teachers, they are written by other professors. Usually you don't even meet the author. Simply one who knows the subject matter, he can explain. No? But would your purports, would that serve as an explanation besides? No. Anyone who knows the subject matter, he'll be able to explain. It is not necessary that the author is required to be present there. To study from a medical man. I never said you have to study from the author or one who understood the author's purpose. Just like we are explaining Bhagavad Gita as it is, not that one has to learn directly from Krishna. One who has understood Krishna, from him, that is the parampara system. This is my reflection on it. I understand how fortunate I have been in getting clarity of thought from so many of your pure representatives. I also understand that your books are very important to study, and also important is to associate and learn from devotees who have lived by what you write in your books. I have been greatly favored by many of your pure and true followers in bringing me closer to what you want any devotee to stand for. As I desire to serve you with purer consciousness, I still see so much of scope of improvement in the same. Srila Prabhupada, you say in your lectures that one moon is sufficient than many tiny stars. In your physical absence, today there is not one moon but many who are helping me, and I still have a lot to learn from each and serve you better. You make it very clear over here that being your representative is no joke. It will require sufficient strenuous endeavor and mercy to qualify for the same. I also understand from the above the gravity of the title that I hold as a disciple to His Holiness Japadak Swami Guru Maharaj, as a ISKCON devotee who is practicing for a decade or so. Although I strive to become better, I still see so many faults and shortcomings in my services to you and my Guru Maharaj. I am waiting for the day when I will develop pure sense of belonging to you and your representative and stop serving my own wicked mind and senses. Through your books, lecture recordings, your institution and your representatives, you have been causelessly merciful to an insignificant soul like me. Despite repeatedly and foolishly committing the same mistake, it still thrills me as to how Krishna has let me continue my sadhana bhakti amongst your devotees. It's causeless mercy alone that I see responsible for uplifting me to whatever degree I can see myself as a servant to Guru Parampara. From my side, I did my part, which was insignificant compared to what I received from you and your representatives. I can only ask for more and more of it for serving you more and more. Please bless and empower me to fulfill your desires in many ways, which they get revealed. Forgive me for my shortcomings and accept me as a struggling servant to your merciful servants. Kindly accept my enthusiasm in trying to serve you and trying to please you. I know as I try, I commit mistakes, and I also know that you will be merciful. Please continue to help me to become a worthy servant to your divine instructions. Please save me from my own corrupt mind and distracted senses, and bless that I develop what you always wanted all your followers to develop, love for Krishna. The goal is high and unreachable, and my hope is a perfect and capable guide like you. Let me offer my submissive hearing to your divine messages and instructions that you give to me in various ways. Let me be an instrument in fulfilling those and striving to fulfill those with pure consciousness, which is what you expect. As I look ahead, I can only long for more and more of your causeless mercy that will come in the form of services, preaching opportunities, my own sadhana, interaction with devotees, visit to dhams, etc. Your insignificant grand disciple, Keshav Kripa Sambhudas. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let us thank His Grace Keshav Kripa Sindhu for offering his offerings to Srila Prabhupada.
My theoretical observation, they are not my realization, whatever you saw over there. No? Those are my observations with myself which I presented.
So very nice lesson that he has brought out from Prabhupada conversation, that actually it is not sufficient just to read Prabhupada books, but we have to associate with devotees also. So practical lessons Prabhuji has given to us. Let us thank Prabhuji by one time chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Next I request Prashant Prabhu to be there for offering, and after Prashant Prabhu, Vijay Prabhu, please be ready.
Namaste, Pracharya Shri Krishna Shri Advaita Gadadhar Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. So I cannot fathom in words to what Srila Prabhupada helped me in my life. I still remember how I came to Krishna consciousness, cannot be forgotten till the last breath, that I happened to receive a Prabhupada book in college. So till the time I received the Prabhupada book, as normal as everyone, I was in a worldly life, thinking that material life is all in all, and having material success can make me happy in my life. And many things were there within us, within all those conditionings were never actually told by anyone that what is right and what is wrong. Certainly as conscience as Krishna is there in everyone's heart, and he directs also when we go, but even parents, even teachers, they also don't know what is human life is meant for. So after I got that transcendental civilization, it was a breakthrough in my human life. It was till now I can see myself as going through many lifetimes, but just one book turned my whole direction. from material life to Krishna. And that is the power of Srila Prabhupada books. And so after that, the next day only I started chanting. And and Vrindavan Gopal, I cannot forget him also. So he had helped me and going forward. So this I cannot forget how Srila Prabhupada helps everyone. So just I will read my offering which I written. Hare Krishna, dear Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisance at your divine lotus feet. In my life, I am finding shelter in Harinam and book distribution, combined with your book reading. I am going on in spiritual life. It is only because of your magnanimity in saving us by engaging us by creating wonderful aforementioned services in your service to your spiritual master. Recently, I was hearing a lecture in that you mentioned that one of the brahmachari, disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, sold 5 Nadia Prakash magazine in the market for 1 cent each. And you mentioned that your spiritual master was very happy and he appreciated, oh, this person has done a great preaching, wonderful preaching. So you expressed that you feel happy similarly when your books get distributed and people get benefited. So in this regard, I am doing my humble efforts to go in trains to distribute most of the days. On this special day, I beg your mercy and provide me intelligence and strength to find better ways to distribute more and more books, which is the best way to keep me busy in your service to your Guru Maharaj, your insignificant servant. So this was the lecture which I played, it was half the way through, and I was having a certain guilt in the heart that I am going in the train, just 5-6 books I am distributing. Is it pleasing to Prabhupada or is it pleasing to authorities? And many times Akal Prabhupada told, just go, whether it distributed, no book distributed, no problem, you are in the street, I am happy. That's what he told. But still I had a guilt in my heart that 5-6 books, or some books, sometimes 2-3, sometimes no. So, something is required to go and write. So that day, the guilt was there in the heart. I simply turned on the music device. It exactly played at that point. And Prabhupada told, my spiritual master, Bhakti Saraswati, was so happy that this brahmachari went and distributed 5 Nadia Prakash for 1 cent. Similarly, I am happy if my books get distributed. Literally, tears came from my eyes. Tears was flowing, seeing how Prabhupada is actually reciprocating. So certainly in that way, every one of us can, when we read Prabhupada's books, he reciprocates with each and every one. Just like Krishna reciprocates with everyone with a unique rasa. Some are in preaching rasa, some are in book distribution rasa, some are in kitchen rasa. Prabhupada has all rasa. Just you have to read Prabhupada's book and you can see your rasa, and Prabhupada is accordingly reciprocating with that rasa. Certainly we cannot all do everything and anything. But Prabhupada is invested by Krishna with divine potency that he is telling that I am there in my books. That means what is all pervasive. You keep Prabhupada books, automatically Prabhupada is there with them. Yes? And certainly by reading Prabhupada book, one will come to association. Yes? So like that we see many people were, and this is beyond all, we cannot underestimate giving Prabhupada book, saying that it is not happening. We might, for material vision may not turn out to be a result. If you take out if a result as a concern, how many devotees are beginning, how many devotees are becoming Buddhist, materially it might be, yes, you feel something not going on. But we cannot underestimate that somewhere down the line, one person can actually change the whole world by reading Prabhupada. So with this hope, so let us keep this zeal. Now December book marathon is coming. So let us take today's day as an offering to Srila Prabhupada by taking a vote to do whatever possible to reach out many, whatever capacity we have. And you see, Prabhupada is pleased. It's just we have to do our capacity. Not this much, this much. So Prabhupada is very magnanimous. And, so I have, sir, just. So also this incident of Prabhupada, how he reciprocated with me, similar to that my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, I happened to hear same connection actually. So I was hearing that glorification, Prabhupada memories. In that, my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was in Vrindavan, and he liked Vrindavan like anything. And when you were criticizing him, you are simply you are for your own pleasure. You are in Vrindavan. You should go out, preach, and you are in Vrindavan. Like that, everyone used to tell like that. This is not a preaching spirit. So you should go out. They should preach the whole world. So then everyone telling like that, and Prabhupada happened to meet my Guru Maharaj, and he was grave. He looked into his eyes. And my Guru Maharaj thought, no, even Prabhupada will criticize me. Saying that, why are you doing that? Why are you not going outside to preach? And Prabhupada was grave also. And he looked into the eyes of my Guru Maharaj and he told, Vrindavan is a very nice place. Yes. So, my Guru Maharaj felt that he has to give his life for Prabhupada. He can go anywhere for Prabhupada. So he understood the heart of my Guru Maharaj, and my Guru Maharaj felt. So he never told that he didn't criticize. I felt this also. Now if Prabhupada, I had only 2, 3, 5 or 6 books. Now I feel I have to give whole day for book description. So that is some kind of unique reciprocation. So also that Moola Prakriti, there was one book I was reading. Yesterday I was reading. In that OBL Kapoor. So he was a friend of Srila Prabhupada, and he writes that Prabhupada was a chemist. So what happened? Prabhupada had made a nice tonic for brain concentration. Brain concentration. And he gave a sample and he told, especially during exams if you use, then mostly you can pass. So OBL Kapoor told that, Pujaniya OBL Kapoor told that it really worked for him. And next time when he met Prabhupada, he told, so you are actually doing nice formulation, but I actually need the secret of your enthusiasm. What is that which makes you so enthusiastic as a Vaishnava and so many rounds you chant? I want that actually. Give me that tonic which can actually help me to somewhere be near to you. So Prabhupada told, oh, that formulation is there, I'm finding. So every time when he meets, he used to ask this question. And then Prabhupada finally, he tells, and I actually have this formulation. So what is that? What is the tonic? Dhanadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Sahishna, Amanena Manadena, Irtanya Sadhana. So the time will come, I will distribute this tonic to the whole world. That is the desire of my spiritual master. So Prabhupada was telling him that. And just yesterday I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, where I started again Madhya Lila. I felt so I cannot imagine without Prabhupada book how will my spiritual life to be. I cannot imagine. I had completed Chaitanya Charitamrita, but again read it. Felt so much relief. Just 2 hours, 3 hours I was into reading. So there Rupa Goswami, so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Ratha he was madly telling some poetry thing. What is, I am the same boy, you are the same girl, somebody is, where are those days, like that. So none of them, no one can understand what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling, except Swarupa Goswami. And then once Mahaprabhu happened to visit the hut of Rupa Goswami, there by accidentally he took that, one letter was there on the hut, so he took that and he happened to read it. So that shows that I am the same Radharani, or same Krishna. What is this amidst of big elephants and horses? Okay, let us go back to Yamuna on the bank. I want to hear your flute sound. When Mahaprabhu read it, how this fellow could understand my heart? He called Rupa Goswami. At that time only, exactly at that time, Rupa Goswami came. He felt Dandavat on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took and picked him up and made a slap. He made a pat and slap on his back. And how you understood? And Mahaprabhu was very much astonished, and he went and told to Swarupa Goswami, how this Rupa Goswami understood my heart? then Swarupa Goswami says that it is the first time when you embraced, you have invested all that is there in your heart to Rupa Goswami, due to which Rupa Goswami is able to understand your heart. In that purport, Prabhupada says, I was also fortunate enough that I could understand the heart of my spiritual master. So what is that? Absolute ascension, thou hast proved, imperceptible calamity, thou hast. This is the heart of Bhakti Seshadrapuram. And Bhakti Seshadrapuram was so amazed by how Prabhupada captured the essence. He used to every time tell his confidential devotees, you see Prabhupada, you see Abhay has written like this. It is what I needed. So like that. So we have a very Magnani. There cannot be anyone in the future, in the past, who can be like Prabhupada. So we are all very fortunate. So let us take this opportunity to whatever extent possible to serve in this mission, to take inspiration from all the dear devotees who are dedicate their life in the movement of Srila Prabhupada and make our life successful. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank Prasad Prabhu for inspiring us all for book distribution that is coming up in the December month. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We all have experiences in our life that how Prabhupada reciprocates personally. So Prasad Prabhu also shared his personal experiences. Now we invite Vijay Prabhu to speak. Prabhupada glorification.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे. So first of all, I am very thankful to the Devotees Association for making to understand for making the person to come in the life by which the whole boat has changed its direction. So many times when we practice spiritual life, we see that many tribulations come, many misunderstandings come, or many times we want to share with someone, say nothing is happening. So then it gives so much of confidence and strength by just looking at the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the life of Srila Prabhupada, that we can keep on going whatever so it is. So in that aspect, in 2018 we were in Vrindavan for Vrindavan Yatra, and it so happened that His Grace Panchagauda Prabhu is temple president of ISKCON Vrindavan. He gave a class in the afternoon. It was so nice to see that Prabhuji gave the class. It was as if like the way what Prabhupada speaks. It was like that. Many of you were there. If you remember, Panchagauda Prabhu gave class just like how Prabhupada gives the presentation. In the same it was. So I was so surprised that being in Vrindavan, say somebody very senior staying for more than 30 years, what is he going to speak? Some leelas, something like that. But when I heard from Prabhuji that speaking so purely what Prabhupada spoke, after the class I went and met personally and asked Prabhuji, how come that you spoke which was so much as you had heard from Srila Prabhupada. How can we develop this taste? So when I asked Prabhuji, Prabhuji gave a very amazing his realization and his practice, that he was telling that whenever he gets time in between, or whenever, he always have in his mobile the Prabhupada lecture. Always in his mobile, anytime he open, there is Prabhupada lecture. Any little bit of time he gets, he just keeps the mobile on with Prabhupada lecture going on. So while traveling, when he has to go from temple to his house, there's lecture going on. And when he has to eat, Prabhupada lecture is going on. When he has, in between time in the temple management, and all of us know how much it means to run the temple and how much it means to run Vrindavan temple is, somewhere higher it is. And before sleeping also, he plays the lecture. Then he said to me that even if I sleep during, hearing the lecture, as soon as I get up, lecture will be going on, whatever the time it is, and again as soon as I get up, I don't go back, I just continue hearing whatever it is there. And this he has been doing for many decades as well. So he said, what you call, I could at least see that how much the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are attached to the life and teachings of Srila Prabhupada. So before, initially when I came to Krishna consciousness, I was very much attracted to the books of Srila Prabhupada, and I was reading all the books written by Srila Prabhupada. But at one point of time, His Grace Kripamay Gauram Prabhuji just said that Ki Prabhu, that's good that you are spending so much of time with Prabhupada books, but it's also important to know about Srila Prabhupada. It's also very important to understand the life of Prabhupada. So then, after he said that, I just started to read about Prabhupada, and after that it changed completely the life. So when I just started to hear, especially there is Kripam Gauram Prabhu has made one setup where every day you get one paragraph of Srila Prabhupada from the books written by Srila Prabhupada, and you need to know that it is the only person upon whom so many books about his life has been written, and that is we should tell loudly, that is Srila Prabhupada. So many books have been written on Srila Prabhupada, it's almost more than 50 books, and at present Ocean of Mercy by His Holiness Bhaktacharya Swami Maharaj is going on. So just to start with instance, what happened, His Holiness Bhaktacharya Swami Maharaj, before when he was brahmachari, his name was Kir Chor Gopinath Prabhu. His Grace Kir Chor Gopinath Prabhu. So it so happened that the initiation happened, first and second initiation happened of Maharaj, and all the devotees, almost a good number of devotees initiation happened, and they were supposed to go and collect Guru Dakshina and come. So what happened, Maharaj was so busy in the service of Srila Prabhupada that he did not get time only to go and ask for Dakshina and come. And in the evening time, all the other devotees, they collected Lakshmi, and they came and offered it to Srila Prabhupada as Guru Dakshina. So that time Maharaj was feeling so much, remorse that I could not get anything as Guru Dakshina for Srila Prabhupada. So that time he went to Prabhupada and confessed to Prabhupada, please forgive that, I could not give anything Guru Dakshina for you. Then Prabhupada said, that is fine, you have given your life for me. That is that is your Guru Dakshina for me. And when this words Maharaj heard, he gave his life, and we know what Maharaj has done to the whole world. So just to tell, reflecting that how the life of Srila Prabhupada encourages us to go on. So once it so happened that when Prabhupada was looking at the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when it was first printed, so he was looking, there was one devotee called as Bhargava Prabhu. His name was Bhargava Prabhu. So Bhargava Prabhu was there in the far, and he was taking so many photos of Prabhupada. At one point of time, Prabhupada got irritated, and he said, hey, why you are taking so many photos of mine? Why you are so many taking? So when for the first time Bhargava Prabhu heard something very strong from Srila Prabhupada, it hurted him, and what happened? He went off from the temple, and he went off. He did not come back, and almost 2 hours passed, 3 hours passed. Prabhupada could not find him around. Where is Bhargava Prabhu? Then suddenly Prabhupada started to ask, where is Bhargava Prabhu? To devotees, whoever were there, he started asking, where is Bhargava Prabhu? Where is Bhargava Prabhu? And devotees are not telling, why he has not come? Where is he gone? What services? Ask him to come. But still, no devotees were able to find out where is Prabhupada. And in the class, before class, Prabhupada is trying to find out where is Bhargava Prabhu sitting in the class. There is no Bhargava Prabhu was sitting in the class. And after the class, again he is asking the devotees, where is Bhargava Prabhu? Where is Bhargava Prabhu? He is not there. And afterwards, Prabhupada was supposed to go to one program in the car. He is asking again to the devotee there, where is Bhargava Prabhu? Where is Bhargava Prabhu? Then suddenly, what is the name of the devotee? If I am not wrong, it is Revati Nandan Prabhu. She is this pastime Prabhupada disciple, senior Prabhupada disciple. So at last, it so happened in the evening time, he saw Bhargava Prabhu somewhere. And he said, where have you gone? Prabhupada the whole day, whomever sees is asking, where is Bhargava, Bhargava, Bhargava. And this name, Bhargava was so amazing. He said, first come, let us go. You first go and see Prabhupada. Then he comes and sees Prabhupada, and Prabhupada tells, where have you gone? Now I am looking for you for the whole day. And this instance, when we see that, many times we may think, are we getting noticed or not? But we need to understand, being grandsons, we are very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So we need to understand that, in the family, more than the son, grandson is very, very dear to Prabhupada. And it's a great, great fortune at this period of time that we are here as grandsons of Srila Prabhupada. And for this reference, how dear it is to be grandson of Srila Prabhupada, we need to read the chapter by Maharaj, Shripad Swami Maharaj, in the book Mula Prakriti Devi Dasi, how Prabhupada relates to it. That story I'm not going to, others Dinesh will catch me. So the beauty of Srila Prabhupada is what so much of higher philosophy was ready to give in such a short time. How much average time Prabhupada's lectures are? 30 minutes. So once in that radio station, it so happened that the people there in the radio station wanted Prabhupada to, they wanted Kirtan to go on for longer time, and they gave only 5 minutes for Prabhupada to speak. And when this was said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, I can tell the whole essence of a Krishna consciousness philosophy in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada writes in Adi Lila, first chapter 106, that the essential truth is spoken concisely. The essential truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. So the greatness of a person is that whatever the amount of philosophy, the better scientist is the one who gives complex understandings in a simpler way. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada has given such a higher philosophy of Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya in such a eloquence for all of us. And it so happened once Harishwari Prabhu was doing oil massage to Prabhupada. So that time when he was doing oil massage to Srila Prabhupada, he read one of the, referendum to the books of Srila Prabhupada. Your books written by Srila Prabhupada is amazing. But only problem is, he has given everywhere Krishna Bhakti. He has given everywhere Krishna Bhakti. Whichever books we read. Prabhupada, when oil massage, he slapped to the mat. And he said, that is, I'm successful. Why? Because any person, no one can squeeze out any other meaning out of my books. Anything they try to squeeze out, the only thing that they are going to get is Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti. And it so happened that in 1970, Jagannath Baldev Subramanya ki, it so happened in 1970 San Francisco Ratha Yatra that there was a very small temple room, very small temple room. It so happened, and so many devotees from the west coast of America had thronged there to hear from Srila Prabhupada. So that time when Prabhupada came, he saw so many devotees sitting in the temple hall, and he stood outside the temple. And after leaving the chapels, he just stood there. He was not coming in. And after some time coming in and sitting on Vyasasana, usually Prabhupada starts with Jai Radha Madhav. But on that particular class, he did not start with Jai Radha. Rather, he started with Samsara Dava Naleda Loka. And he sang whole Guru Ashtakam prayers. And after the class, one devotee asked to Srila Prabhupada, why you sang, this Guru Ashtakam prayers? You're supposed to sing Jai Radha Madhav. Prabhupada said, in such a remote area, so many devotees have come. I was requesting my spiritual master and the whole parampara to come and see there in the temple or how many devotees have come. And it so happened, how Prabhupada is inviting. Just to tell that His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj tells that once he was in the hospital in Juhu temple in Bombay, and it so happened that when he was in the temple, when he was in the hospital, he has to go through some surgery and he was put on anesthesia. So that time when he was put, he started remembering the Aarti of Radha Rasbihari, and he was there. Suddenly when he fell into sleep, he got a dream. So in that dream, he saw Srila Prabhupada. He saw Srila Prabhupada was being called from the earth by all the previous parampara to give a report what is happening on the earth. So Prabhupada was called. So that time Prabhupada goes and Prabhupada is standing and all the parampara is sitting there. And they are asking how is preaching happening on the earth. So that time Prabhupada tells, the people of this earth are so third class, so fallen, they are not able to anything, understand, they are not a level to perform any austerity that there is no hope for them. Then what are you going to do then? If people are so much fallen and things, what is the way for them to get the mercy of Krishna Prem? So Prabhupada tells, the only good thing is that they are attached to my lotus feet. That is the only hope for them. So when Maharaj saw this in the dream, suddenly he came out of the dream. And when he came out of the dream, Prabhupada was sitting there in the hospital in front of him. We were shocked, Prabhupada has come here. So Prabhupada actually, knowing that Tamal Krishna Maharaj is going, as well as Tamal Krishna Maharaj is going through surgery, he came from the Juhu temple to stop the operation. Prabhupada. So, but still, since the operation had already happened, what Prabhupada said, it's okay. Then Maharaj tells this dream to Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I saw you, telling that only your lotus feet is the only way for the people of Kali Yuga at present to go back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada said, he closed his eyes and he said, yes, that is true. Prabhupada just said like, he said twice, yes, that is truth. Yes, that is true. So it's very important for all of us that how much fortunate that we are, that we have so much Srila Prabhupada in our lives to take shelter of. So His Grace Bhaktivinoda Prabhuji was once just telling that it's so amazing of Srila Prabhupada that all the acharyas, whatever we need from all the acharyas, we can just find it in the life of Srila Prabhupada. We can just find what all you need from all the acharyas in the previous parampara. We can everything find it just in the life of Srila Prabhupada. So that's why it's very, very important for all of us to drive our life keeping the compass of life and teachings of Srila Prabhupada and reach the shore of Godhead. And at last, to conclude, it's very interesting to read the offerings given by all the Maharajas and disciples of Srila Prabhupada for this year. It's very, very touching to see that the love what Srila Prabhupada has shown to all these devotees can be seen by the same thing given by our spiritual masters to all of us. So I just request if devotees possible can try to read the different offerings of different Maharajas, especially not just telling, especially His Holiness, very important His Holiness Jayaprakash Swami Maharaj, and it's very important also to read the offering of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj. Shivaram Swami Maharaj, if somebody wants to understand what important is to understand book distribution, you must read this year's offering by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj, and how much the disciples of Srila Prabhupada love their grandchildren. Very important to read the offering of His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj in relation to His Holiness Kadam Kanana Swami Maharaj, and also the offering of Her Grace Kaushalya Devi Mataji, how much she loved Srila Prabhupada. So just to end with the thing that it so happened that Prabhupada wanted to purchase the shoes, and he was going off from his house, from the temple, and Her Grace Kaushalya Mataji and Her Grace Yamuna Mataji. If you know the time, Yamuna Mataji said. So along with her, Kaushalya Mataji also was present. So Mataji was there. So Prabhupada said, I want to purchase shoes. So Her Grace Yamuna Mataji said, yes Prabhupada, on the way we will purchase. So they went to the Bata showroom. Prabhupada said, you choose. I'll wear whatever you choose. So when they said, Yamuna Mataji, Her Grace Yamuna Mataji and Her Grace Kaushalya Mataji went for taking the shoes. And Her Grace Yamuna, they did not know the size of Prabhupada, size of shoes of Prabhupada. It was so, matching that, they got the white shoes of Prabhupada. So one chappal was Her Grace Yamuna Mataji was catching, and another chappal Her Grace Kaushalya Mataji. So they both are carrying the chappals, and they come and put to Srila Prabhupada, and it becomes so amazingly fixed. They became so happy. So now, after 50 years, 60 years, they are remembering these incidences that they had in relation to Srila Prabhupada, and still memorizing that. His Grace Bhaktadas Prabhu tells, I have become old in the offering. This year's offering tells, I have become so old. I don't know when I am going to leave the body, but I am sure that by your mercy, by your disciples, by the association of devotees, for sure I'll be able to remember you and come back in the service of you wherever you are. So it just ends like that. So So all of us can try to mold our life as much as possible to try to please Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Kadam Kanam Maharaj writes, the only desire to give up the sense gratification will come when we desire to serve Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So as Vijay Prabhu has told that the grand disciples are very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada himself said to the disciples when they were facing at one point of time some difficulty, he told them that you pray to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur because he is your grand spiritual master, he will bestow special mercy on all of you. Hare Krishna. So let's thank Vijay Prabhu by one time chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Next I request our Vijay Prabhu to come up.
No, I was not aware, not prepared with anything, but yeah, whatever I can say for talking to Prabhupada. So, basically, the teachings of Prabhupada, in the sense, the books of Prabhupada, as other devotees were telling, like Prashant Prabhu was telling, everyone might have had an experience of how Prabhupada reciprocates through his books. So, many times I have seen whatever difficulties we are going through or we are in confusion, so that Prabhupada reciprocates. So one time I was in Velandur and I was reading the section of Prithu Maharaj. So somehow I came from my work and I was in Velandur, and there I was made into OC, so overall coordinator for that base. And I was like, didn't have any experience before that, what is managing things and how to behave with devotees, etc. etc. So I was just put in that condition, and then I was reading Prithu Maharaj section. There, Prabhupada, whatever doubts are there, he was explaining how a leader should be, how a king should behave, etc. etc. So all those things I was able to relate when I was doing that service. So, and many of the doubts were clarified, how actually to deal with devotees and things like that. So that way many times it happened. So whatever life's difficulties or confusions we are going through, Prabhupada is there to actually guide us. So just we need to, once Vrindavan Gopal Prabhu was telling why we do everyday hearing or why we do Prabhupada book reading every day. So just we must be so eager what Prabhupada wants to say me today, what Prabhupada wants to tell me. So or what my spiritual master wants to tell me, so that I can follow his instructions. So with that eagerness we should hear every day and we should read every day. And Uncle Keshav also was requesting every day devotees have to read Prabhupada books. Even I am lacking in that. So I'm making some efforts and then some commitments to read Prabhupada books every day, so that we can follow his teachings and then we can give it to others also. So when we are enthusiastic following his teachings, we can give it to others. And some of the offerings of, as Vijay Prabhu was telling, we need to read. So I was just reading the offering of my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Ravan Swami Maharaj. So there Maharaj tells how Prabhupada like his teachings and his life. So that should be the compass or whatever it is. That should be the guide for our life. So we are sailing a boat through the ocean, and the compass is Prabhupada's life and teachings. So having that, we can reach the shore of Godhead. So with that, I complete my offering.
Vivo. Let's thank Arvinda Group for his offerings to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So, as Arvinda Prabhu was telling that he is not prepared because most of the devotees, PDC devotees, we all were there in actually Sardapur, and we all were like very busy with the services there in Janmashtami celebration. So many devotees could not write.
offerings to Srila Prabhupada. But I have made a small PPT on Srila Prabhupada the genius, so I just some things I have written about GENIUS about Srila Prabhupada's life. So we'll just go through this. There are like some small audios and videos about Prabhupada's life. So G, I have referred to gratitude, that how Prabhupada himself was so much grateful to his spiritual master and his disciples, whatever he did.
So in this way, gradually, I became attached to this going on activity. And by the grace of Krishna, my business also was not going very well. Krishna says the sound Girdani, this is the phenomena. If somebody wants to be actually devotee of Krishna, at the same time keeps his material attachment, then Krishna's business is he takes away everything material so that same person he becomes as to say, dependent on Krishna. So that actually happened to my life. And I was obliged to come to this movement, to take up this very seriously. And I was dreaming that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me. Please come out with me. So I was sometimes horrified. What is this? I have to give up my family life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling. I have to take sannyas. Oh, I was horrified. But I saw several times calling me. So anyway, it is by his grace I was forced to give up my family life and so-called business life. And he brought someone another in preaching his gospel. So, this is a memorable day. What he deserved. I have tried little bit and you are all helping me. So I have to thank you more. You are actually representative of my Guru Maharaj.
So this is the gratitude of Srila Prabhupada actually for his disciples and his spiritual master both. So whatever little bhakti, if a devotee does, actually Prabhupada is very grateful for that. Similarly, next is eagerness to preach. Prabhupada was always eager to preach actually. When he went to Moscow, that time actually with him the government officers, they were also there. Actually it was long audio, I could not cut it, I could not put here. But in Moscow actually Prabhupada went just to give his mercy to the country of Russia. And now we know next to India, the maximum number of devotees are there in Russia only, correct? So Prabhupada was so eager to preach. Anywhere, everywhere, wherever he go, he was just eager to preach. And seeing his enthusiasm, devotees sometimes misunderstood him. And one time they brought some Gurukuli boys and they said, Prabhupada, please give class to them. Prabhupada said, what they will understand. So Prabhupada was such a genius that he knew according to time, place and circumstance what is the exact preaching strategy that will work. So those kids were there and immediately Prabhupada said, bring out cookies. And he started giving cookies to them. Because that is what they will understand. Then another time it so happened that Prabhupada was there and the devotees, they took him to the Red Hood forest kind of that area wherein all the hippies were there and they were naked completely. Boys and girls, they were simply sitting naked. So just imagine the audience are naked, what class you can give. Prabhupada was such a genius that immediately he said that you all know that how much pleasure or how much enjoyment we can get when we remove our clothes. And they were saying, yes, Swamiji, acha bola aapne, correct, you can understand us perfectly. And then next Prabhupada said, similarly, if you throw away the covering of the body, how much enjoyment, the soul, pure spirit soul, as pure spirit soul, you will be able to enjoy. And then they understood, yeah, correct. See, just imagine how to make them understand something about Krishna consciousness. This is the genius of Prabhupada, actually. Next one is about actually natural lifestyle of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was happy to go in the Rolls-Royce car or big cars and other places. One time actually the newspaper reporter, they asked that, why are you going in such a costly car? Prabhupada said that actually they are supposed to give me golden car, but they are not able to give me normal car only, not a problem. And then another time Prabhupada was, there in India, and Prabhupada was eager, just happy to go in the bullock cart also. And towards the last days of his life, we all know that he requested Loknath Maharaj that, please arrange the bullock cart, I want to go for the parikrama of Govardhan. So this is simple lifestyle of Prabhupada. So this small video is there, maybe 1 or 2 minutes you will see how Prabhupada was so simple. I think most of you have seen it. So nice to see you. So this was like simple lifestyle. And wherever Prabhupada would go, he would not take the modern brush and he will brush with that. He will whenever he was in India, he will take the neem, datun, and he will just brush with that only. And one time it so happened the disciple broke a very long branch of the tree. And Prabhupada said, why are you bringing this? Why are you wasting Krishna's resources? So Prabhupada was so simple that he was not ready to even waste and simple neem's branch also, just imagine. So this is the Prabhupada's simple lifestyle. And whenever opportunity was there, Prabhupada would go outside in the nature, for the nature's call also. So I remember, His Holiness Radhan Maharaj telling that one time when we were there in Vrindavan, so that time, that day night, they told that actually the toilet is not prepared properly and it is not working. So whole night he was struggling actually to repair that toilet, and somehow by morning he could fix it. But morning Prabhupada got up and he took the lota and he went to the forest. This is the simple lifestyle of Prabhupada. Next one is actually intense practice and deep understanding. Deep understanding of shastras and personal practices were so intense. I was just reading the same book as Prashant was telling, Prakriti Mataji's, our Srila Prabhupada, a dear friend to all. So there, the offerings of His Holiness Narayan Swami Maharaj, so there he says that when Prabhupada was there in Kolkata actually, at that time, very frequently he would travel from Mayapur to Kolkata for preaching programs and all. And late in the evening, sometime like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they would go to their house, Prabhupada's house to stay. And they would see that Prabhupada, anytime they would come, he would be just eager to, keep them in their house. And he himself would go and sleep in the separate room and things like that. He'll wake up sometime even his kids and family members and make them sleep in some different room. And he'll give entire house to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciples actually. And there he tells that actually Bhakti Prabhupada was chanting that time 64 rounds every day. He was working also at the same time every day 64 rounds he would chant. That was the intensity of practice of Srila Prabhupada actually. And Narayan Swami Maharaj says that actually Prabhupada came in contact with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur earlier. But he came later in contact with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But we all know that Prabhupada waited for initiation for 11 years. And Narayan Maharaj got initiation before, but still Prabhupada would respect him. Every time whenever Narayan Swami Maharaj would come, he will pay Dandavat. Even though he was younger to him. But he got initiated first, so Prabhupada's humility was that he would be always, because you got initiation first, so you are senior to me. That is, Prabhupada's humility. And one more thing about, intense practice. So much, his practices were so deep that we all know that how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was pleased with the poem that he has written, Prabhupada has written, impersonal calamity, thou has removed that. So, after that incident, one time Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there in Mayapur, in his Gaudiya Math, and he was surrounded by all the sannyasis and everybody, and there Prabhupada also happened to come from Kolkata. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw that actually Abhay Babu had come from Kolkata, so he made just a gesture that please come inside the room. Now all the sannyasi disciples and the big leaders of different temples and mathas, they are all there. And Prabhupada went along with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur inside the room, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur closed the room actually. So that they cannot hear anything. And long time over, both of them, they were having long conversation. And then Prabhupada comes out, and Narayan Swami Maharaj said that actually Prabhupada, when he came out, he was so effulgent actually. So this was, the closeness that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada had. Another incident Narayan Swami Maharaj says about Prabhupada's connection with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that one time Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there, he was there in the same butt, and he was sitting there, and one of the disciples who had gone to England for preaching, he came by boat actually, because he could not come by flight and those things. But he came by boat back to India, and he said that preaching was completely unsuccessful and he was completely a failure. And he told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that your methods do not work there. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very upset with that. And he said, one day this will happen. Because my mother, Bhagavati Devi, she has told that the message of Lord Chaitanya has to be preached even to the Western countries. And this was her last desire. When she left her body, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mother, she left her body. She told to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that actually you should empower somebody to preach in Western countries also. So how glorious the family lineage itself was. The mother is not telling that get married and have children and take care of the family life. But the mother is telling that you should empower somebody to go and preach in the Western countries. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was looking. So in one side actually towards his right, all the sannyasi disciples and all, they were sitting. So he started towards them and then he turned his direction. And then another side, left side actually all the Grastha disciples, they were sitting. And behind Narayan Maharaj, there was Prabhupada was standing. And Prabhupada was, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was just seeing Prabhupada only, eye to eye contact. And for a long time he was just telling that one day somebody will preach. And he will preach and bring real glories to the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Narayan Maharaj was thinking that why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is looking towards me. And then he realized that actually you are not looking at him, rather you are looking at Prabhupada. Both of them, they were having, eye-to-eye contact. So this is, the closeness of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada actually. And we all know about the intense understanding, deep understanding of Shastras of Srila Prabhupada. This is long one, but long video. I will post on the IYF group. You all can see that. So this is and S is actually simple lifestyle, simple the straightforward behavior of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was never duplicitous with anybody actually, whomever he interacted with. Before coming to Krishna consciousness also, before even he became disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, he was so simple and straightforward that he would not hide anything. He directly went and told his father that actually the wife is not cooperative and I'm not happy with her. And his father Gormont said that it's very good, it will help you eventually to become more Krishna conscious. So he just believed whatever my father is saying, I will just go ahead with that. That was the simplicity of Srila Prabhupada actually. He always had faith in his superiors. Specifically his father, he had a lot of faith, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had so much faith that he was ready to lay down his life also. That is why towards the end of his life, he just went to US for preaching. And Prabhupada's genius was that actually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sending his disciples to England, but Prabhupada went to US. But why Prabhupada went to US? Because when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there, that time the England was the main, UK. That was the main the center of the entire earth. It was said during that time that actually the sun never sets in the British Empire, because all over the globe they had ruling over everywhere. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was trying to his best to preach in England. But eventually later on the focus was shifting to US because of the technological advancement and things like that. That is why Prabhupada went to US there actually. And he wanted to preach in US, and that's how he preached in US and brought so many Krishna conscious devotees there. And because of that actually we are today Krishna consciousness. So I remember in my own personal life, when before I got into NITK, I was chanting one round. Some devotees used to come by during my 11th and 12th, and they told something about chanting Hare Krishna Mantra and all. But I had my separate plans also, that once I get into engineering, this is how I'll work, this is how I will enjoy, and this is how I'll purchase bike and these things and all different plans were there. And at one point of time it so happened that devotees came and they were trying to give books and things like that, and I was not taking, I was adamant that no, I don't need all these things and all. But somehow one of my seniors, he gave me by force that you don't give money also, not a problem, I'll pay for you. And by grace of Prabhupada I was saved. But later on, when I was in 4th year, that time I was discussing with one more of my friend who is there now in US as a Brahmachari, is preaching there. So we were discussing that had it been that we would not have come to Krishna consciousness, by that time we would have died actually. Because by that time, 3 of our friends who were common friends to us, they already left their body, they died. 2 died because they were taking too many drugs and things like that. So one day, during that time actually this selfie culture came too much. So one day this fellow, who was having selfie stick in his hand, and the beach is there, and on the beach there are some small mountains are there. So he swam and went and he sat on the small mountain there, and he was taking selfie, like this, just very close to water. He should have selfie like that, and he slipped because he was full high on drugs. He slipped and he drowned, and then dead body was also not found. Another one of our friend who was there, he used to drink in the night, and full night he would drink, and after drinking he would vomit, and then he would sleep for 2 days. That is the source of his enjoyment. So that is what, and he, in his wing towards the direction of those rooms only, there were like around 14 rooms. Nobody would like to go to those rooms because it would smell so badly. And in 1st year he was our common friend actually. So he also eventually he got, because of taking too many drugs and all, but he was driving bike, and with a high speed, as we sometimes hear from Radhashyam, right? The bike people, they go and they just dash in the this one truck or something like that. So this fellow went and dashed in a tree, and he just instantly there only died actually. So that was the incident that has taken place in his life. So similarly, actually, I was also saved by grace of Prabhupada. Otherwise, my destination also would have been same only. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and we are very grateful to him, whatever he has given in our life. So, on his Vyaspuja day, I pray to Prabhupada that please empower me, please give me your mercy so that some way or other I can serve you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now we all have prasadam. Hare Krishna.